Good morning, everyone. I don't know how excited I am to start hiking today. It's supposed to be windy and rainy and stormy all day again, I think. But I want to do at least 12 miles. I think I'd like to go further, but it just depends on the weather. 12 at a minimum, I'm hoping. And it's funny because, those of you that have not been out here before, you might think like, oh, well, your gear should be drying out overnight, right? But those of you that have been to the East Coast can attest. Things do not dry out overnight. And in fact, half the time, they're more damp when you wake up in the morning than they were when you went to bed. So yeah, everything is definitely all damp, and I have to pack it up all damp. I don't like that. But I guess let's get to it, right? Definitely still my favorite spot on the trail though so far. Just reminds me of the north, and I'm a northern girl, so I feel like I'm back home. Well, today hasn't been the most fun so far. It's been pouring rain for like the last 4 hours. And luckily we got a little break in it right now. Hopefully it'll be done for the day, but I'm not so sure. The trail has just been kind of a mud pit the whole time. And I'm doing everything that I can just to not tip over because it's really, really slippery, both going uphill and down. So I just haven't had my phone out much. Sorry, I haven't been filming, but just don't really want it out in the rain. And to be honest, everything is kind of looking the same today anyways. It's such a pretty pattern. Yep, still looks the same. Well, I got to Clyde Smith Shelter and it started raining again, so I hung out in there for about an hour and a half. And it was full of people. They're all just trying to wait out the weather. But it is not raining right now, it's just foggy, so I'm gonna try to do a few more miles. Hey everybody, I am at Ash Gap, and that's further than I wanted to go yet again. And honestly, today was a rough one. I tried really hard to keep in good spirits and have a good attitude, but I think I failed. It was just a struggle. It was one of those days where you just put your head down and you keep slogging. Between the pouring rain and the mud and the insane wind that just came up in the last hour and a half. I'm over the wind. It can stop anytime now. I think I'm just gonna eat and crash early, and tomorrow is going to be a better day. Tomorrow's gonna be a better day. Good morning. Everything is quite literally frozen solid, to include my shoes. I have no idea how I'm gonna get my feet in there this morning. So we're headed up Roan Mountain, and we got some more spruce forests. Took absolutely forever to pack up this morning because everything was frozen. Like backpack straps were frozen, and tent was frozen into the ground, and all that stuff, so it just takes a while. But I think it's gonna warm up today. Well, even though it is cold up here and the trail is really icy in some spots, I am just loving all these evergreens. It just smells so good. Everybody always tries to bottle mountain air or whatever in air fresheners and laundry detergents and everything, and they just never get it quite right. You actually have to be out here to smell it. We went up and over that mountain this morning. Isn't that pretty? a challenging climb when it's all icy like that. Well, it finally happened. I just fell down in the mud. I don't know which is worse, the slippery mud or the slippery ice. Honestly, I think the mud. These old gnarly trees are just amazing too. Just taking a lunch break at the Stan Murray shelter and drying out my tent and rain ply that were put away frozen this morning. I haven't seen as much wildlife this time, and it might just be because the trail's a little bit more crowded right now. But yeah, I've seen just like 2 deer, and actually in the second morning on trail, I actually woke up to some turkeys gobbling, and that was cute. And last night and this morning, I heard the ruffed grouse drumming, which I love that sound. That's such a cool sound. Other than that, not too much going on. This is cool. This is Yellow Mountain Gap, which apparently in 1780, 1,000 men from a bunch of militias came over this mountain in like really bad weather and stuff too, and they went 170 miles to Kings Mountain, where they won a significant battle of the Revolutionary War. That barn down there is the Over Mountain Shelter, which you can't stay at anymore because it's condemned. It's falling over and it's dangerous, but doesn't that just make a beautiful picture? I just cannot get over the views on these balds. I told you today was going to be a better day. And now we're going to climb that one. That was a long, steep climb, but oh my goodness, Hump Mountain for the win. I literally have no words. For the last 150-ish miles, the trail has been weaving back and forth between North Carolina and Tennessee. Just along the border, it goes back and forth, and half the time you don't even know which state you're in. But we just walked through Doll Flats, which is the spot where we finally leave North Carolina behind for good. So now we're in Tennessee completely, and it goes for about, I think, 75 miles or so. I made it to Apple House campsite, and it has been a long but absolutely beautiful day. See you guys tomorrow.